Shalom, Salam Alaikum, Namaste, and greetings of peace from Friends of Israel, Vadodara. It's my pleasure to give this webinar. I'll first introduce myself. My name is Nikitin Contractor. I'm sure those who are registered know me, but I just wish to say that I'm a simple person. I'm no expert on diplomacy. I'm no expert on academics. I'm a simple man making students learn skills. My only positive thing is with this is that I've been to Israel 16 times and I've had 1,000 plus students who have been to Israel through me under the volunteering program, and many others also have been motivated by me to go to Israel. Today what we are going to talk, but before on the peace agreement between Israel and UAE. But today I first start with an anecdote with certain background to this thing. They call it the Abraham Accord. Long back in Israel, I had taken a travel tourist bus in Jerusalem. The driver was a Palestinian and the guide was an Israeli. In a break, I took the courage and asked her, "What is the difference between you and them?" She said, "None. We are all sons of Abraham." I still remember that. I had a friend. She once took a flight from Thailand to Tel Aviv, back from her vacation. In between, the flight developed some snags, so they had to land in Dubai. Obviously, the Israeli group was a bit down. She was also among them, so she was also a bit scared. But she took the courage and went to the counter and said, "I have an Israeli passport. Can I take a round of the airport before I take the flight, which was say, about 12 hours it was going to take her?" To her surprise, the officer said, "Yes, we do not allow Israeli passport, but you are like my sister. So I'll definitely escort you to a few shops and a few places in the Dubai airport, which is one of the best airports in the world, and you can do the shopping." So this is how people look at it. 49 years have gone of this bitterness, of this thing where two prime ministers, or rather, I would say Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed took this historic step of going for a peace agreement, bartered or broken by the US President Trump. This is history. It's a historic step. Many people doubt whether it will last, whether it will not last. I tell them that such steps are taken once in a lifetime. And I would personally say that the Crown Prince has taken a lot of risk in going ahead with peace with Israel, considering the geography of that place, considering the militancy of that place, considering the various political nuances over there. He has taken a major step in this direction, and I wish to congratulate him, as well as we all should congratulate the Prime Minister of Israel also for taking this step. With this, I would like to give you a bit of a background. Peace agreements have been done before. There was a peace agreement between Israel and Egypt, Israel and Jordan. No? Yes. The Egyptian peace agreement had a sad part also, that it led to the killing of Anwar Sadat, the president of Egypt. But he did not bother about it and went and signing. Same thing was with Rabin. He died also because of the peace agreements which he was doing. There are 4 martyrs of peace which motivate people to do this. Gandhi, our father of the nation; Martin Luther King of United States of America; Yitzhak Rabin of Israel; and Anwar Sadat of Egypt. These are my heroes. I really worship them. With this, I know that this peace agreement is a challenge. The peace agreement covers 4 basic areas: trade, diplomacy, aviation, and of course, the latest pandemic, which we all are experiencing globally, the coronavirus, the COVID. But compared to the other agreements which were done before, this agreement is different. Israel, Egypt, the agreement was Israel was a prosperous nation, Egypt was not that prosperous. Same thing with Jordan. But here, two prosperous states have come together. For example, the GDP of Israel goes into $392 billion. The per capita income is 40,326. The GDP of UAE goes into $982 billion. And the per capita income is almost 70,441 US dollars. So it's basically a combination of a sort of an economic power coming together. And it is going to help the world. I have strong conviction that peace always helps the world. Peace brings in prosperity. How do I see the prosperity? I first see it in the area of tourism. UAE draws about 16 million tourists every year. Israel draws about 4.5 million tourists every year. A good combination. Honestly speaking, Indians are smart people. We had Christian pilgrims who would go to Dubai also and go to Israel also, in spite of the fact that there were no diplomatic relations. They would fly to Cairo. From Cairo, they'll take a bus, pass through Israel, go to Amman. Amman, they fly back to Dubai, and Dubai back to Ahmedabad. But now it's official. So it's a good thing. Definitely India would be benefited. Definitely the world would be benefited. When the peace agreement was reached, I got a wonderful message from one of my friends in New York, John Perry. Now I can fly from New York to Dubai to Tel Aviv. I've been 16 times to Israel, but it's my longing to see Dubai. I also would like to fly before that, I would say I had a dream that Air India takes me to Tel Aviv. That dream has been fulfilled. Now my dream is I should fly Emirates, Ahmedabad, Dubai, Tel Aviv. I think the aviation industry and the tourism industry and the hotel industry per se is going to benefit a lot from this agreement globally, no matter where you stay. The second area of benefits which would occur to the Middle East would be the Israeli innovation power. So many things have been invented in Israel. Israel is I always call Israel as the capital of innovations. So many things have been invented by the Israelis. They say invention is the mother of necessity. So they invented the drip irrigation system, the water supply system. A complete desert was turned into green. I'm sure everybody admires that. This is the second area of cooperation. The third area of cooperation is the coronavirus research, which is going at a dramatic pace. The medical research, which they have, and a short example of medical research is the swallow camera tablet. That means you swallow a tablet and it gets dispersed into your body, and the whole picture comes out to the doctor. Now, this is what Israel is, the land of innovations. I always say from Einstein to Zuckerberg, they are innovative. Firewalls, it was one of their innovations. Now, Remdesivir, the new tablet, the new injection which has come, is used in India. So this is where the collaboration would be. The third collaboration I see is in terms of agriculture. Baroda is lucky to have Netafim as a company in Baroda, which helps to the farmers in India. I'm sure the same farming things would help other nations also who would join after UAE in the Middle East for the peace treaty with Israel. I'm sure they would. That's the reality that they have to. Sorry. Solar power. That's another area of cooperation between UAE and Israel and the globe, which would benefit from such peace agreements and bring in prosperity to the business. The other area of cooperation which I see is defense. Because of certain problems, the Americans had put certain restrictions on UAE, on F-35 and drones. I think those restrictions will go. There'll be more trusting on the UAE. And with the help of this, they'll be able to counter one of the worst governments in the world, and that is the Iranian government. It's in the name of exporting Islam, they're killing more Islamists. In the name of doing justice, they are doing the maximum injustice to their own people. UAE has done a smart move by taking on Israel on their side, and this would create an impact where Iran won't be able to do much with them. The area of cooperation which are seeking which are very positive with Israel are education, among the best systems of the world in education, life expectancy. Yes, this is something where I'll give two examples. Life expectancy, I had gone with a group to Israel and we had visited one kibbutz. At the age of 80, the man was looking like 40. And he would take us all around. In the group, we had one of those old BJP leaders. And he told me, I don't know how this enthusiasm comes. I've always seen Israelis enthusiastic. The third point which I would like to say is innovations, of course, which I have dealt with, and research and development. Huge investments in research and development. Net houses, greenhouses, drip irrigation, right? Defense, drones, massive innovation goes on, and brings it out. And this is what is needed for the world as a whole. And the last point which Israel has to give is happiness. Yes. Many a times I've been to Israel, I see a lot of tensions in the border, but there is no tensions. I'd like to quote our former president, late Dr. Abdul Kalam. Dr. Abdul Kalam was once in Israel, not when he was the president, but when he was the head of ISRO, that is the nuclear wing of ours, Indian Space Research Organization. And he was in charge of the nuclear program. He visited Israel. There was a blast somewhere in Jerusalem. So Dr. Abdul Kalam thought that the newspapers would be all full of condemnation and this and that. He went to the Tel Aviv airport for his flight and he was surprised. Then the newspaper, the first photograph was a person who planted orange seeds and got oranges in a desert. And he said, this is what it is. We in India are so negative minded that we are always talking of robberies, rapes, this, all negatives. And here something has happened. The news is reported on the 9th page. This is happiness. Last time we went for our Twin City Agreement to Ashkelon. Suddenly news came that Iran is going to blah, 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 Haifa, blah, 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 Dubai, this, that, You'll be surprised, in Ashkelon, there was no tension at all. No tension. We were a bit tensed up in the hotel, but the local people were absolutely free. They said, nothing is going to happen, don't bother about it. It happens, such threats keep on coming. So this is their happiness index is low. Today for this webinar, I called up one of my old friends, Ilan, who is a great fan of India and has produced a play based on Raj Kapoor's movie Sangam. He told me he would love to join, but he's on a vacation outside. See? Not bothered. So definitely there is a lot to learn from Israel. There is a lot to learn from UAE, the grand things which they have done. And this integration would help the global movements. Coming to my last section of the speech today, I firmly believe that peace agreements have to have people-to-people movement, people-to-people contact. You have to see that the benefits do not go only to the top form of the society, but it has to trickle down. The old theory of economics, trickle down to the common man, to the man who is sitting on the road. Yes, people to people movement between India and Israel has definitely. We also went for a diplomatic agreement with Israel of recognition in 1992 under our former Prime Minister Narasimha Rao ji. After that, the business has grown, the traffic to Israel has grown, the farmers are happy, they have adopted Israeli technology, students have grown. You know, when we started the volunteering program with Israel and Kibbutz, we had 10 students in 1998. Till now, we have 1,000 students traveling to Israel. In fact, 1,800 to be precise. Pilgrims have gone. So many people have gone. So if this movement has to take place, if peace has to come beneficial to these people, to the hoteliers, like the peace agreement with Israel, or say rather a diplomatic agreement between India and Israel, has helped hoteliers in Udaipur, Jaipur, Dharamshala, South, Goa, a lot of Israeli tourists we get. And obviously there is a reciprocation. You know? So it has helped the hoteliers. It has helped the taxi fellows. My first visit to Israel, I took a taxi in Cairo for my travel. I went via Cairo. I asked the taxi fellow his opinion about Sadat. And he said he was almost like a messiah. Because that is where, he said, I started this taxi service to Israel border, and that is where I earned, and my family has become stable. We have risen from the humble class to a middle class level. This is what it is. People to people movement has to succeed. And unless the people to people movement succeeds, nothing much would happen. Lastly, I would say it also helps in social work, a people to people movement. I'll show you and talk about a book which we have, a souvenir. This is Snevan. It's a not-for-profit NGO working for the benefits of the farmers, children's, the farmers who are financially deprived or rather lost their lives because of pressure. They are helped by Snevan. Our society helps them. We get contributions from all over the world. Here is a contribution from one of the Israeli kibbutz, Yahil. They have contributed us, right? This is from an Israeli company, Netafim, which is based in Baroda. One of the biggest contributors have been ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Commission, which has very good links with Abu Dhabi and all those places. And we have so many donors who come. This is Gas Authority of India Limited, which also has helped us a lot. And more than that, the students who have been to Israel and then settled either in India or in UK or in USA, wherever they are, they contribute. We have had visitors from the embassy of Israel. We have had students who have given us a lot of resources, you know, like these people, these youngsters, you know, they have given us a lot of help, and so on. So you can see the ONGC Petro Division ad over here as a donation to Snevan. You know? So, I mean, this is what it helps, you know, this is what it goes. This is what it is. So many students helped, so many people helped, and so it's a peace brings in benefits in all areas, not only in terms of business, not only in terms of education, not only in terms of tourism, aviation, and hospitality, but it also brings in benefits in NGOs who are doing work with the poor and helping the poor to uplift themselves. More than anything, I would say that we have made India a dish called paneer tikka and chicken tikka a household name in London, in Dubai. We'll do it in Israel also with this collaboration. Thank you. Thank you for listening.